just in Southern California?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw something about it on Twitter earlier today and half read it, but yeah, new species of mosquito.
Yeah, well, I hope they're not in New York because I went outside. I literally took the garbage. My apartment's like 100 yards away, and I came inside and I had like five mosquito bites. They were just waiting for me.
No fun. It's still like brutally hot and humid up there now, right?
Oh my
That's
god! I played me of all people. I played tennis this morning. I actually thought I was gonna die. It was like the Nadal match, just at a much lower uh, skill level this morning, and the courts above New York City, just a battle, a true test.
just looking. You guys are just looking like the. You're seeing the Royal Tenenbaums. You know that movie?
Do you, yeah, I know that movie.
Okay, okay. I figured. we've never talked Wes Anderson
No,
before,
no,
but
I just
Richie
what
Tenenbaum,
shocked you
Rowan
that I
directed.
despise that movie.
You despise. Okay, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. It doesn't
Yeah,
really seem like your kind of thing.
that movie.
I actually really like Wes.
Of
I feel
course,
like most Wes Anderson heads, that's their favorite of his movies, and it's one of my least favorite actually. And I do like him.
didn't he do the hotel movie?
Yep.
Yeah,
And Rushmore, you know that, right?
never
That's a
seen it,
classic.
but know it.
It's really good. That's like the beginning of the like late period Bill Murray when he's still kind of, Bill Murray's still throwing 98.
The
Is
cold
he's
opening is going
really
to be the entire show. I don't even hate it, but
yeah, let's just I
I'm
mean,
just sorry.
anyone have any film questions out there on Twitter? This is a
We'll
free show.
splice those in.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Absolutely. Hello, this is Late Night from A to B, presented by Osmo.com. Andrew,
Just a replay of yeah.
Ben. Uh, we're really sports rich right now. Just
Whew.
feeling very sports rich. And this tournament is, it's fun. It's the 70 of the best players in the world. It'll be kind of cool to watch, but it's a tough one to break down. The market is very efficient right now. These guys have been playing. It's the same group of dudes that have been playing for a few weeks now. Uh, it's just kind of I think the ownership is pretty spread out. I think the prices are generally relatively fair. There's no cut. I don't know. It's gonna be a wacky one. I'm not playing a ton. I'm also really excited for NFL to start. So I don't know. What about you, man?
I'm with you. We've heard me blabber. I'm not a big non-cut guy, and I do think that this is a personal thing. So everyone needs to examine it for themselves. But being cognizant of not playing to play, and if you're saying, "Man, I've had a great run. I still want to play," of course, you play whatever you want. But for me, I just I have things that I normally enter. The 21-20 up top is a tournament I enter every week. Gonna play it, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna use that for my NFL one. Like, why? I think it's sometimes I get stuck. I play things because I usually play them, and that's unnecessary. If you don't feel comfortable with it, if you think that this maybe isn't the best way to allocate your money, pull it back. It's not like you don't have to play. Take a couple of shots, be a little more aggressive, have some fun with it. But for me, I didn't see anything on the slate where I said, man, I really want to attack this because I think I have a really nice edge here, or this tournament's going to play out where I have a great pulse on it. It's a course we haven't seen. It's a 70-man non-cut in September. Uh, I don't think that that's the best situation for me, so I toned it down for sure.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, there aren't a lot of spots. Usually by now I'm excited about somebody. Are you?
No, I'm not. I First of all, we got it's the weather. They're calling for a lot of rain. Not that could change things if there's delays and stuff. That's always a mess. Lift clean in place. I would say it's going to play a part of this. Yeah, I'm interested.
Great point, Ponta.
What?
Did you see Ponta? Yeah, that's a great point.
Where
CT
are we?
Pan is 25%. It's a week to play.
Okay, that's a fair point. I will say this though. I would be much more excited on that if I could get my reward on Friday for fading that easy pivot. Uh, when you luck box over the 4 days, it's easier for him to salvage, obviously. but 25% CT pan week is something I can get excited about.
That's true.
Decky has heat exhaustion. There's that. That's always fun.
Doesn't sound fun. Why
I
is
don't.
everyone so heat exhausted? It's that bad out there, huh?
It's. I mean, when I read that, I had to laugh because it's Decky, but like I could see how that happened. It is brutally hot here, and the humidity is through the roof.
Didn't Federer lose last night or something because of that,
It
supposedly?
was a couple nights ago. Yeah, it's you wouldn't want to be out there.
Yeah. I mean, he isn't old at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a very reasonable take that wore him down. Like, so, I mean, I, I already knew. I had told you on the Tuesday show that this was a week for me of more position based golf, and I still feel that way. I'm usually really aggressive where it's a lot of 0% and a lot of like I 10x the field on a guy. I'm not going to have as much of that, especially on the lower end. I'm going to spray, even though I'm not playing as many lineups. I'm going to have little stabs, 4-8% of more guys than I normally would.
Yep, same for me. And then I have a couple guys. You know, there's a couple chalkier, more expensive guys. I'm going to come in under on. There's I think 4 of them, and that I'm not super scared of killing me. And then I can get over on every single other player.
Yeah.
I have 10, not 10, 8 or 9 dudes that I have 30% of.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to fall there. To be honest, I adjusted if you can't see, I am exhausted. I'm building in the morning because it locks at 11 a.m., so I have plenty of time. I build, I know it sounds silly, but like I'm much better at building in the morning. I prefer to do that if I can. Just a morning person. So that's where I'm at. I see myself going the same way. The guy I've moved the most on is Day. I've soured a lot on him. Not saying I have none, but I was really high on him and Spieth. Spieth is much my preferred target. Day, I'm a little skeptical of. I don't think it was just the rain, but I really could see him struggling here.
What makes you say that?
He's been a little, I guess, worse than I had thought. That was step one, and from what I've seen, I originally thought that this rough wouldn't be an issue. I saw a couple things that made it seem that you really need to spray to get in trouble. I don't think that that's the case. To me, it's now striking me more. You got to put it in the fairway. You got to keep it pretty close. So you're going to be in trouble. That's not exactly what I want to do with him. I'll still use him in certain spots with the Woodlands of the world, but I feel much more confident going to some other guys kind of in that same range.
Lots of rain is never good for the rough either.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they're good in the rough.
And I think that was part of the combination because it's like even if he's a little off now, that rough is going to become anything besides the fairway is going to be even worse because you have lift clean in place first of all, so you don't get to touch your ball, and it's just you don't want to be hitting out of the wet rough. That's just a really bad situation to be in. So yeah, I don't know.
I hate that because I have Day is probably the 5th best player or so, whatever. He's the 10th most expensive guy and going to be the lowest owned of the 10 most expensive guys. And he's a better player than his price tag. That's normally a smash spot. But I hear you. It was like last week was a little concerning, obviously.
It's a lot of like little things like that. It's a little concern from that. It's the rain. It's the core. They're starting to add up a little more than I thought they would. Having said all that, he still warrants some exposure. But it's not where there was a chance he could have separated. If I found a couple things that I liked and it broke it differently, there's a chance that Day would have been my highest owned player, and that's not going to happen at all. That'll be Rory, of course. Maybe not.
He does still control, Day does still control his own destiny even after last week. He's 10th in the FedEx Cup, so like he can get into the top 5 pretty easily this week. And
oh yeah, I mean, with the way the points work, you can make. I I think I'd venture to say that everyone controls their own destiny.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's like
Like ridiculous. It's
16
like
times as many points as at
like
the Memorial.
he said Potter comes in second. He's now like third in the FedEx Cup. It's so stupid. If Bryson goes first this week and second next week, and the bozo whoever's in fifth wins, they just win. It's like,
Yeah, Ted Potter. Ted
man,
Potter's got this.
like
That's what happened with Rory 2 years ago when he won. I feel like he had like a pretty bad season and then just won two of the events down the end, and it was like, okay, well, he's got the trophy.
yeah, he was losing legitimately 8 strokes putting a week. And then he won that event. He like quadded the first hole and then just ran away with it.
That was when I just went on. That was before we started at FanDuel. I went on. It was before you and I knew each other, but I went unconscious during that run. It was just I forget which one it was, but like Day and Rory, not Day, Deej and Rory kept flipping being the chalk like every week in the playoff events, and I just got lucky and called it right every time and played like, Deej was chalk one week. Like I think Deej was the chalk both times Rory won, and Rory was the chalk the week DJ won in between. That was fun.
Those are always nice.
Yep.
I really think that stuff is somewhat related. Like you can get in a little groove, especially with a given player where you have a pulse on what's going on. That's an overarching topic that we'll discuss at another time. But yeah, that is good. What are you doing with Ricky?
I mean, he and Day were my planned highest exposures, and if I'm reducing the Day a little bit, I don't think I'm going to reduce the Day much. I have 35-ish%. It's not obscene, and I think that's warranted. I think there's a good enough chance because if Day is on, it's just the new potential. I think there's a really good chance he's dead, but I don't see much chance of Day playing mediocrely, if that makes sense. So I'm willing to still play a ton and hope that, because I think there's a better than that chance that he's just really, really there, especially given the ownership. So
I like Ricky. I'm with you.
Yeah, have a lot of Ricky, but yeah.
It's
an ownership, it's all owners. Like it's okay. Ricky's also a very good player and is the other guy that might be 10, 12, 14%.
Yeah, in higher stakes, I expect Ricky's always popular up there. I think we see him over 15, but
there's 15 guys that are always popular in higher stakes this week. So
yeah, that's true too. I would just a gut feel Rahm after burning everyone. I think he might be sneakily under owned. I don't really like the spot for him, but if you're just talking purely ownership, I could see there being a little void there. Maybe not, but
maybe. I think the sneaky one there is going to be Molly. His ownership's trending downward. I think it's fine. I think he's good enough. I don't think that price is silly. He just needs to putt well, and he's shown the ability to do that a bunch this year.
Yeah, I'm not a big Molly guy. This is, I think, a better than average spot for him. I would venture to say I probably come in over. Right now, I don't have any, but I haven't built much. I think it's fine. The problem I was having with him earlier in the year is he was this or more expensive, and the ownership was traveling, and that's a double whammy. Like, if you tell me you're getting the ownership discount, that becomes way more appealing for a guy with, his game is what I'm talking about. Keep it straight, live clean in place, attack with the irons, make some putts. That part's not his strength, but he can, like any of these guys, he's shown the ability to get hot here and there with the putter.
He had a pretty hot month there for a minute. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, yeah, I read about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they tell me. And then he was the easiest fade of all time when Rahm and Spieth took him to the woodshed in the head-to-head bets. Where was that? At the Bridgestone, I want to say. Yeah, anyway. Working down.
Jordan Spieth at the Bridgestone is still really funny. But it's Jordan Spieth. He can do it anywhere.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
What are you doing with him this week? How silly of an amount of Jordan Spieth do you have?
Oh,
Because
a
he's a
lot.
player too, man.
Yeah, he is. But I just he has less red flags for me because he's playing better. Putters in order.
Does he have a new putting coach, do you think?
He got 2, so he's back to the beginning. He's come full circle. He's actually back to just being old Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
How much speed do I have? I mean, right now you can't really judge this because it says I have 90%, but I've only made. He has nine of 10 lineups that I've made. I'm gonna have a real lot. We'll see. But the guy working down, RCB got left off the Ryder Cup team. That's unfortunate for him. They took Sergio instead.
S. Garcia over RCB.
Yeah, Stenson and Sergio made it.
Legacy. Man, and you guys think that the world team is going to beat the US?
Not the world team. If it was the world team, they would just murder them. They really
Because
could
they'd have
day.
daters spraying all over the place.
Yeah, Charles. That's like the President's Cup is just the nut low because it's just like, wow, Charles and Hadwin pairing. That's great.
Well, that's one of those like, yeah, when you start throwing in all those world psychos, it's like, I mean, they could win 7-0 some. I don't actually know how the scoring even works, but
it's so bad though. It's like Siwoo can't. Anyway, no, Europe. It's over there. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely. All right. What else do we want to do here? I'm looking down.
I think that about does it.
Yeah, let's go back to Wes Anderson. I'm just writing down. I really did keep it very vanilla, so I know the show is not going to be overly interesting to you. If you have some questions, feel free to drop them in Slack for us. We will possibly get to them. I don't know if Andrew reads them. I have a lot of Usti.
I'm just kind of casually watching Ponta and Carl and Coolers battle each other.
There you go. There's always that. Our Slack is great entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna read through my plays and then I'll be done. I got Usti. I like Grillo. Benyon, I think, is fine. You know, he's an iron specialist at this point in my book. I didn't dip. I really did not feel the need, regardless of who I started with. I didn't see a huge reason to go down into the 6s.
There's only one reason, and it's ownership. That's the only place you're getting 3% owned guys.
But what about some of these? Like, I guess, yeah. There's not as many guys as I thought in the 7s. What is someone like Aaron Wise though, or Hadwin?
Yeah, I think Hadwin's probably going to end up a little more popular. He's not like trending up the way I would have thought, but he's played really well the last couple of weeks, and he's still really cheap. But you know, yeah, I think he's going to be sub 10. I just don't think he's going to be your 2%. Versus Harmon, who's basically the same thing, he's still going to be 2-3%, and he's only 6,700. Been chasing that a while. His results don't look good, but he's kind of been fine. He's scoring a little bit. You know, he's Brian Harmon. I'm going to play some. It's the 6,700 is pretty meaningful.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think for me, it's more that I'm not jamming like 2 of those guys so I can get like DJ Rory starts. I see no reason to do that.
No. And you can play one of those guys and get
pretty close to that.
Spieth, Dave, Ricky, which I have like a ton of lineups that start that way.
And I have Spieth, Ricky, Fleetwood.
Okay.
And then I'm ending in the 7s. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, what do you make of like Kevin Na or something like that?
Kevin Na is just I avoided him completely last week, and it felt great to get that right. But it set me up for a really weird situation this week because it's like, do you go back to that? Was that a fluke? Is he just not? I tend to think it's okay. there's something about I never play Poulter, basically ever. I
Feel
feel
the
like
pull
no
coming.
one is gonna play him. Like no one. Is
We'll
that
see. He's projecting like reasonably 10-ish.
oh my
Like
god. Never
more
mind.
than
If
Hadwin,
that's
more than
true,
Wise, more than List.
then I'll have 0. I thought he'd be like 1% owned.
No, that's
Who's
not happening.
who's playing him? Out yourselves, people. Show yourselves. I want names. I don't understand. Why would
But
anyone play that guy?
because he's all over the damn place. Sometimes he
Oh yeah,
shows
I
up
do forgot highest rover
of all
in the
time.
world. Uh, I yeah, I mean
Kisner, I don't mind Kisner. Another guy, like especially if it's raining, he just
new
puts
putters.
puts his ass off on slow greens. Yeah, I don't know. He's cheap enough that it's like if he just shows up for 2.5 days and feeling okay.
I bet
And
that guy likes Royal Tenenbaums.
Kisner, I don't know. Isn't that a
Hot
little
take.
too like coastal elite for him?
I don't think he's like that.
You don't think he's a dipping Southern boy that
No,
hates
not.
New
I
York?
don't. Maybe I'm off base. I know he's somewhat of a Southern boy, but I don't get that vibe from him. No.
Okay. I've
Um,
never really seen him talk much. I just see him like angry, and it looks like he's got a dip in his mouth a lot. And he just,
nah. Maybe I'm off base there, but no, I don't see that from him. I see him more as like a kind of like Chison Hadley. Like, would you say that for him? He's a Southern boy, but he's not like that. Or Webb even.
yeah,
Webb definitely likes the Royal Tenenbaums. I think that's a given.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. Like, there's
Snedeker,
no.
all those like, did they all go to Vanderbilt? No,
None
but
of them. I don't think any of that's Brent Snedeker.
Snedeker went to Van. Yeah,
Yeah, they're all Carolina dudes.
the fancy Southern boy.
See, I am mafia.
Yeah, well, that's also where doesn't half the golf world live on what is it, SeaWorld Island?
Yeah, SeaWorld. Blackfish too. The golfers.
SeaWorld is it in it's in Georgia, right? Definitely in Georgia.
Definitely not in South Carolina.
This is
Yeah, that's where they all train and stuff. So, did God, I just again, I know, and you brought up a good point. You can get some ownership in the sixes, but be careful down there. I think you're sacrificing a ton of talent. Like, there's a reason that almost every guy down there is down there, and it's because they're garbage. And playing a guy who's 1% owned that's going to play horrible is just as useful in a non-cut as it is in a cut. Like, you're done. So
yeah. I
like
have 0% Patton Kazire and Ted Potter. I'm just saying I'm taking a couple stabs on like
that's fair.
Kisner and I have a tiny bit of wait, is Ches Reeves still here, right? That's hilarious, by the way, that Ches is
Yeah,
still
he's
around.
he's looked just as he's looked exactly how I thought he would look lately. That guy,
Awesome, like 2 and 3 weeks ago.
he had a mini stretch. Um, those guys are different. To me, the guy I really think is Keith Mitchell in a bad way. People see it and they're just like, well, he scores so much. It's just like, no, but if you're just horrendously bad, you can't outscore your placement point like that. Of course, there's always an out, and I see it conceptually. I'm not sure this is the best course for him, and I do think he will get a little ownership bump because of who he is, and people equate him with like, well, he's going to make 12 birdies. It's around, which that's inaccurate. I don't know. Is that bad?
Especially if this place is a little harder. That's another knock against the Webbies. Don't
Yeah.
play someone like Abraham Answer. Just kidding. Answer's been fine.
ZJ or the Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah, I don't like any of that stuff.
Oh, I have a little ZJ. I think he'll be okay. He missed on the number last week. That wasn't fun. But I think he'll be pretty. I imagine he'll be pretty low owned.
Yeah. I have no problem. I had, like I always do, 0% last week. I may have some exposure. I don't mind it. If the course, see again, the rain, that makes me a little skeptical because there'd be less run out. if he can get to some of these holes and have short irons, it does seem like there's a fair amount of those here. I I don't hate that. If Ryan Moore was in this tournament, I'd be saying I don't hate the spot for him. He's not here, so don't play him.
Yeah. Noren show you anything last week?
No, Noren showed me exactly. Like I said, that is exactly what I thought of Noren in a ceiling sense. Maybe I'm a little closer, but I'm probably going to still have 0. I just don't see it unless the course is brutal, and I don't know if we get that. Like if it's just murder, like where the scoring average is like 71, 72 ish. Maybe, but are you? I know I tried to deter you last week, which wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done, but are you going back?
Because I was an idiot and put like Poulter in my 8-8-18
yeah,
instead of.
In my defense, I didn't advocate for Poulter at any point.
Well, he's a good tournament guy. I thought I was needing to be tricky. Didn't work. I don't know. Yeah, I'm planning on having a little Noren. It's just he's shown crazy upside before. I think it's there. We'll see. It's maybe not going to go great, but I'm going to beat the field because I think he's going to be 4% owned again. And I think he's the most talent at that price for that ownership. It's really as simple as that. I hear what you're saying, that the sustained round-to-round ceiling may not be there right now, but I'm going to try because that's probably coming back at some point, right? He's shown it in the past. He's displayed this skill, which means he owns it. And I have no idea when it's coming back. And he was good. He was good enough last week. He gained strokes with his irons again. Like he's showing some designs. He lost strokes around the greens, which is atypical.
Yeah. No, I get that. I guess for me, it's just, even if he was firing on all cylinders, this would not be the ideal setting for him. Like, he is the kind of guy, tougher conditions at cut-esque more than a shootout non-cut. But he's a good player. He's certainly, still for me, well undervalued in the grand scheme of where he actually is in the golfing world. We got a couple good questions.
Okay.
Webb Simpson. I'm not there. When I saw him winning on Saturday, I had 0%. I wasn't thrilled. And then I saw him just shoot like 80 back-to-back days. It felt like Webb is, if I was playing cash, I might give that a somewhat of a look, and he wouldn't have made it anyway in cash. Just not on my radar. I'd rather play Reed or just take the low-hanging fruit with Casey and just hope he gives me a T18.
Yeah.
You like Webb?
In general, I do. I think it's a little pricey. Yeah, that round was nice. I did have I had some Webb team that was like monstrous after Saturday, but he was real bad. And that's not fun. You don't want to see a guy totally tank like that. But I think that might make him super low owned. Sort of. Do you have any interest? I think it feels like his ownership is finally getting to the point where I can take a stab. I think it's partially because he seems $300 or $400 too much. But Xander week.
Yeah, I mean, when I say Xander week, I'm not gonna have 0%.
12%. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm playing some Xander this week. Haven't done it in a long time. And last time I did, it wasn't good either. But that was like 6 months ago.
All right, we got a question. Inception, yay or nay?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for
Nolan.
Nolan, and like that sort of, a lot of those like bro intellectual movies. Like, it's an action movie with just enough like tiny stuff to make me feel like I'm intelligent for watching it, even though they're all pretty stupid. Like, yeah, I really like Nolan. Interstellar is legitimately one of my favorite movies ever. It makes me cry, which
that's too much.
Yeah, I know.
Like Inception. Interstellar, like there's like wormholes and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I just have always really liked space movies. My dad was a pilot. Like I don't know. There's like some really intense stuff. It's so like cheesy and over the top, but I am a bit of a. I am not Well, I can be emotional. I am pretty easily emotional at movies, strangely enough. Have you ever, I can't imagine that's you.
Not overly, no. But with me, it would be more of a random movie than it's just like wildly correlated. Certain things would affect me, but
Oh, you just get like the Hallmark commercial that all of a sudden out of nowhere,
like
it's
in
like,
Dumb and Dumber, it's like yeah, certain movies definitely do
oh,
that.
Seth, it's your time to give him a quick boot.
When did the show become Oprah? We're going more for Dr. Phil, brah. Thoughts on Bryce Garrett maintaining his heater? He should be fine if they let him play on the web.com to get his card, even though he's got to win this year. I'm sure he can beat those guys. Didn't know he was in the tournament. Pat Perez, yeah, he just had a child. Not for me. I think that's just, yeah, late in the year. I'm reading too much into that. I'm sure he does no desire to play. If I was him, I wouldn't be playing.
Do you think he quit smoking for his child?
No, he's probably smoking more. Like
He's not
Pepper
sleeping.
is a character. Interstellar, that movie is too much. It's too much.
It is. It is. I 100% agree. I see the fault for caring about it, but love that movie.
You know what I've been watching, and it's been on Showtime for any people who have Showtime. A movie that I love. Every single person I've ever talked to says, yeah, it's pretty good. Is Traffic. Nobody likes that movie.
Yeah. I loved it 15 years ago, but I can't imagine like some of the sort of the like white girl stuck. Like I can't imagine some of those storylines hold up given some of the current privilege discussions in the world.
Maybe not, but I think it's a good movie. No one likes that movie.
I really liked it at the time. I remember that's the really cool because like each different scene has like a very distinct color, right?
Yep.
Or each setting, rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soderbergh's cool, man. He's done a lot of different stuff that's wild.
Sharp people, they know about some stuff. But was that him? I'm googling this.
What? Yeah, that was when he was making all the Ocean's movies. He was on a run. Then Out of Sight was a couple years before that.
Do we have a list from?
Oh yeah, it was what did he call it? Coolers did drop one a little bit back. Let me grab this.
Let's see what's the capital of Trinidad and Tobago? Port of Spain. It's either that or Kingstown. No, it's Port of Spain.
Kingstown's Jamaica, right?
Yeah, that's right. Port of Spain. Final.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Cooler says it's tough to make an egregious list for this event, so this will read more like an X's who have wronged me list for this week. Like it. And this is a good list of X's who've wronged you. Wrong.
I mentioned him earlier. I feel like I can always say, "Oh, well, I see the merit because it's Rom and whatnot." I've toned it down. I've kind of cashed out some of. I've been way over on him. I'm gonna have exposure, but I've toned down how aggressive I'm going with him.
Yeah, I've kind of
soured.
I don't know. I've just been sort of matching the field on him lately.
That's more I'm at now. Like I used to I was having 40%. I probably get into the 20s maybe. Maybe I get over.
Yep. What about Reed?
God, I should say the same thing for him, but I'm still he's been burning me. I'm still kind of there. Particularly, I link him and Spieth a lot, so it's natural when I have a ton of Spieth that I'm going to have a ton of Reed. That's just kind of what happens for me.
Yep. The movie Crash, that was wild. Did you ever see the Cronenberg movie from the 90s with like Holly Hunter in it? It's about like sex and car crashes. That's the real Crash. That is the correct answer. It's a good movie.
I was going to say the Crash that I've seen / am familiar with is not the movie you're describing. It has Matt Dillon in it.
Yeah, it's like the most notorious Oscar winner ever. That said, the guy who made that movie is the dude who blew the whistle and was largely responsible for going clear of that Scientology doc, which hilariously came up right before our show started.
There you go.
The one on HBO, that's worth
That's
watching.
good stuff. I saw that. That's brings me
Yeah.
back to my childhood. No.
But yeah, I totally agree with Ponta. Crash is too much of a positivist model for my taste. I couldn't handle like Forrest Gump when I was a kid. When they're too cheesy, when they're like overtly cheesy like that, there's certain angles that will get me. But yeah, I don't know. Not a big Crash fan. That was a tough one.
Not a yeah.
Okay, Norin we talked about. ZJ we talked about. CH3
No.
1% owned in the sixes. Like I kind of want to go there. I hate him.
No upside. That's the killer. Like,
it's probably true. Kisner, I'm definitely taking some stabs on. You?
I think it's fine. If I was making my normal volume, I would have a sliver. He might not make the cut for me.
I'm gonna have a fair amount actually. I mean, we're talking like long irons and putting on slow greens. Like that's the Kisner action.
More of a bump then. I hadn't really seen it, but that's enough for me to up it a little.
2% owned. Mark Leishman is totally fine. I am not seeing the crazy bump that we were worried about. I think people are it's probably just only real scumbags that are playing at this point. So everyone knows that this was at a different course last year because it's people that play attention. By scumbags, I mean that lovingly, obviously, including myself and you and producer Josh.
I was reading the chat. Carl thinks so. Anyway.
Leishman, 10-ish%. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Definitely.
Harmon, I'm gonna have that's the usual. This trio of like crappy dudes, or there's the Harmon, Kisner, Hadwin, maybe not Norin, but there's just these sort of like light hitting like nuke putter types that have been not.
What about Brian Gay?
He's a little too much of that. He doesn't really do anything well but putt. Like these other guys, when they're on, like have strengths. Harmon's a really good driver of the ball, despite being.
No, I'm glad to hear you say that because to me, there's a big distinction between Hadwin, Harmon, Kisner, and a guy like Brian Gay, who they all putt good, but it's different.
Yeah. Hadwin, Harmon, Kisner have competed at real events. Brian Gay shows up when it's a web.com event.
Yeah.
And then, actually, this guy's turning into the rich man's version of that, but Tyrrell Hatton.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that.
He might be pretty chalky too.
I'm gonna have some, but I probably come in under because I just can't allocate the kind of exposure that you're gonna need if he's chalky like that. His blow up rate is huge to me. He's super emotional. He's playing well, so it's not like the upside's not there, but man, I have a tough time really hitting that, super, super hard.
Sorry, say that again. I was catching up on a chat thing. My bad.
Carl's questioning if I was a Scientologist. Not in this life, but you never know. I was saying that Hatton, if he's chalky, I probably can't get over because with a guy like that, he's super emotional. The blow up is there. Even though he's playing well, it's just not a spot I'm eager to attack at chalky ownership.
Yeah. The announcers are like just openly making fun of him for it too. It's so bad. I mean, it's really funny.
He kind of looks like one of the rescuers down under. Do you see that at all?
Oh God, I can't. Like, wasn't the rescue? That's a cartoon, is it not?
Yeah, he has that like. Maybe I gotta Google that now.
One of the bad guys?
No, he has like a mouse quality. Okay. Aren't they mice?
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
I don't think it looks like a mouse.
No, that's not who I'm thinking of. There's another.
I'm thinking of the one with is that the one where like not Jim Carrey, who's the Jim Varney? Ernest is like the bad guy. I
have no idea what you're talking about. What I'm thinking of a cartoon mouse that he looks like, but it's not Rescuers Down Under.
American Five Goes Tail. What is that? Yeah, the Five American Tail.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You must have seen those. All right, we need some help from the chat on famous cartoon mice.
Yeah, seriously. / who does Hatton look like?
He looks like a jerk. That's it.
Hmm. That's a real. All right. So now hot take, and then we can talk a little movies, and then we can get on out of here. Last week, I said Spieth was going to win. He didn't win, but he was all right. We were both wrong again. Is it bad if I just like keep saying that Spieth's going to win?
I mean, whatever. If he's
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
that,
who's that?
that's Fievel.
What did he do?
American West.
American West?
American Tail. American Tail.
Maybe that's the guy. I don't know if I've ever seen that though.
I don't think that looks like Ty Hatton. I think that looks like a cartoon mouse.
Yeah, no, that's not who I'm thinking of. There's a distinct. It's a shame. That's a Pinky in the Brain. That's amazing. Not what I was thinking of either. Even though, man, that's weird. The Scientology thing came up. I was talking about Pinky in the Brain this morning.
I worked with this at this restaurant where like one of the servers was this like goth girl and had like just like covered in tattoos and would like her hair would be like black and pink shades and would wear funny lipstick, and she had these two pet rats that like when she was like obviously not at work because that's a major health hazard, but whenever like you'd see her outside of work she'd be like wandering around with like her two pet rats like they were named Pinky in the Brain, and it was really just a tilting thing to even see in public. I'd be like walking with my dog. This is Portland, Maine, so a small town. You run into people, and it's like, oh hey, and then my dog is like freaking out at this person because
either the brain
running on her.
Do you have a hot take? I don't even know. It's a 70-man non-cut.
I don't know. I sort of like Snedeker. Carl mentioned that. I think I do have a little bit. I think he's going to be lower owned. Totally reasonable.
My like jackass, crazy low owned. I'll say Uline top 5. So how's that?
That's okay. That's irresponsible, but that's fine.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't want people to just jump on Uline like that. I will say, for me, if you're talking about a guy in the 6, how about that? I think this is a good one. Uline's the best player out of the 6K range.
Okay.
I think he's the highest ceiling out of all those guys. He's not going to top 5, you're right. But I don't see much down there where anybody's breaking through.
I'll take Harmon as my we'll double down on the head-to-head thing.
Okay.
At DK points, I'll go Harmon over that. Dave, like I said, Dave was closing on Spieth those last couple holes. He got it to 14.
Cut, he probably would have got there.
Yeah, he got it to 14. Carl, do you have a hot take?
Yeah, from the chat. Yeah, I've been on a movie kick. I just watch so many movies every day. Traffic, though.
What do you think Josh's favorite movie is?
I Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was what came to mind, but that might be wildly off. I don't know how that could be your favorite movie. That is a great movie, though.
I guess so, yeah. Jim Carrey had a very interesting career. I feel like I can see Josh, but having seen Rounders like 8 times.
I don't see that take at all, but I feel like that's a better chance of being your favorite. Like, if Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, I don't think that would ever be your favorite movie because it's just like you would say Dumb and Dumber or something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Dumb and Dumber is a superior movie to Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
And it's the same like Rounders has an out. I don't think that's the answer, but at least if it is, it's Rounders. Maybe it's Traffic. That would be a real barn burner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
what's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie? Is it Inception? You've got the Batman movies. You've got Insomnia, Memento.
Honestly, I thought I would say Memento, but it's probably The Dark Knight. I'm not a big superhero movie guy, but that is one where I watch that decently often.
Yeah, it's not as much of a because it's not as much of a superhero movie in a lot of ways. I like the first one actually holds up really well. The first Batman movie.
Yeah, with What is that guy's name?
Cillian Murphy as the
Thank you.
Scarecrow.
From Peaky Blinder. Yes, that guy's the man.
Yeah, he's good. He was in I mean, he's been in a million things, but we don't have to go down that road. We can do a Cillian Murphy career retrospection podcast on like a Thursday in February.
That's what
It's gonna
we'll.
happen.
Yeah, no, there will be. Yeah, mark that down. Pencil us in for. We'll start the marketing next week on that.
Yeah, someone remind us that that's gonna have to happen. The
Uh,
NBA All Star break is Cillian Murphy week.
all right. I say, Chad, if there's any more questions, now is the time to ask. Uh, and if not, we can mosey on out. I want to. We're after the show ends. I do want to find out what is Josh's favorite movie is. We're gonna need to know that.
It's true. Oh yeah, Dunkirk was pretty good. Good call, Diamond D.
I don't really have one.
Don't really have one.
No, like it depends on my mood.
What?
So
If-
like,
That's fine.
if I'm in the mood to be like to laugh, I'll watch Step Brothers.
Okay.
Shawshank
Fair.
Redemption is probably like the best movie I've ever seen.
Okay. Pretty
So
common.
like, it really depends on my headspace.
Fair enough.
I do.
That's fine. Yeah, Shawshank is actually one of those movies that's a little too positivist for me. Like that movie sort of I'm a little too cynical for that movie in some ways, but obviously a lot of people really love that movie and I understand why.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah, I mean it's like the Godfather movies.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what I would say too. Do you have a favorite movie that's in terms of we talk about DFS, let's bring it back to that. Percent over the field. Like The Godfather, you can't get the leverage because everybody likes it. Is there a movie where you're way overweight on?
I feel like it's Interstellar. I think the public
Probably.
hates
That
that. I
movie's-
think the public hates that movie at this point.
Yeah, that movie's just it's not bad. It's just it shouldn't be made. Speaking of pods we're gonna do in February, my space pod, where I just have a 45-minute rant against space. That'll be a must
Not
see.
feeling space.
Yeah, get that out of here. I think mine's Primal Fear. I love that movie. That's like one of my favorite movies.
Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of that like started that whole run of the Kaiser Soze thing. You know, like there were a lot of those like big twists. Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. Did you know that? I probably shouldn't spoil that, but I feel like the movie's
I've
a
never
little
seen The
old.
Sixth Sense.
Oh,
I don't have
well,
time
you know what
for
happens.
Haley Joel Osment. Get that out of here. All right. That's good to know.
Murph. Yeah.
Good to know you like
All
The
right.
Godfather too. That's important.
Yeah, I mean those I've watched at least the first two I'll watch every 2 years probably.
When
at
they're on
some point.
AMC from 6 in the morning to 8 at night.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a fish for spending $200 a month on cable because I will literally go like weeks without actually not that I don't watch TV, but I have like a Roku and a PS4 that I'll like I just go to Netflix or whatever. During football season, I obviously grind Red Zone all day every day, but like I don't use the actual cable feature very often. I'm not a channel surfer, if that makes sense. And you are, right? You love it when like Three Ninjas is on, whatever. I can't even think of the.
I have 3 TVs in my living room, so like there's a lot of times like I can't tell you the number of times I have a college football game on my big screen, a college football game in the top right, and Jurassic Park in the top left. That happens frequently. Like I'll just have a random movie where I don't need sound in the top left and 2 sporting events. I watch a lot of movies, a lot of replay of games and stuff.
I'm impressed. It's a very millennial culture. I'm on the sort of the cusp of, some in some things I'm considered a millennial and some I'm not even. And I think that the multitasking thing is like I'm dating myself hard, but like I grew up with like it was there, but like the internet was not in every household when I was growing up, like or even in high school. Not everyone had it all the time. So I think I just wasn't used to doing 25 things at once. And to this day, I can barely watch golf while I, run projection updates. It's annoying.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by that. Like I can, do multiple things, just not effectively. Whatever.
I've not seen Network. I know that that's a super classic. I need to see that. You've seen that, right?
I have.
Yeah.
It's good. It didn't make a big impact on me. That's all I'll say. Like I saw it. I'm glad I saw it, and I'm not sure I'll ever see it again.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Okay, great. And then the Rory take. Final question.
I think he's still my favorite guy in terms of, the really 10K and above. He's my favorite play. Unlike last week and many, I was saying to Ponta earlier, I've had 0% DJ for like a month now. That's going to change. I'm going to have some positions on him and JT this week. Rory will clearly be my highest leverage play there, but it's not a 50% Rory, 0% everybody else situation for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely playing a fair amount of DJ. I'm probably coming in a little under on Rory, to be honest, but that hasn't burned you ever. Just kidding.
No, it's like DJ. It never burns you.
DJ wins tournaments by 20 strokes sometimes.
When that happens, I play him, obviously. What do you think? I'm an idiot. It's just no. The thing with DJ that kills you is you never get paid off, though. I will say that. I feel like I've took really aggressive stands with him, and what does it get me? He comes in sixth. He did nothing, and he's still not. He does enough where it's not helping people, but it's not eliminating them either, and that is frustrating. Because taking a 0% stand on a guy like that is a big ask. It's a big reach.
Indeed, it is. All right. Yeah. Well, that was That's about it. I think. Say again.
I said that was something. That was quite a. We did the best we can with a 70-man. People, it's that kind of week.
Yep, it's true. Getting into film and millennials talk because that's what we do, and we're on two-a-days. We're on TV all the time. See, I call it TV. That's how old I am.
Now you're dating yourself, all right.
God damn it. Anyway, that's still actually one of the funniest moments in my life when I admitted on Twitter that I was older than Dan. He said something about it. I was like, "Shut up, Dan! You're being old." And he was like, "What?" And then he puts up a Twitter poll about who's older, and he's still more people thought he was older than me, which is really funny. I mean, I'm like 2 months older than he is, but
just shows how out of touch the DFS community is. No one knows anything about anyone.
Exactly. Fade the chalk. Fade the chalk.
We need people's ages out there and their ROIs in that order. First, everyone admit your age. Anyway, fun talk. I'll be, the lock is see, we do have some time in the morning. I'll probably drop in Slack, see what's what. Keep an eye out for Decky news. I think that's worth monitoring because we don't know if he's going to play.
It's true. Yeah, you got to get up in the morning. It's 8 a.m. my time. I'll definitely be up before then. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Should be a fun weekend. Let's be honest, we're more excited to watch football. We should be doing a show with the fella this week before NFL to get you all prepared. It's gonna be a good time, and we will talk to you all shortly. Thanks, Josh, for producing. Ben, good talking to you. Thanks, everybody in Slack for being our friends and having a good time with us. And we'll catch you next time.